Hi there, and welcome to MS-DOS Game Reviews. So this is the channel where I record myself playing some really old games for posterity, so you can see what gaming was like back in the 1980s. In this case, gaming on MS-DOS. So today we are looking at a little known gem called Portal. It was released for MS-DOS in 1987, and it's a computer novel. So if you were a person or are a person that likes to read science fiction, this might be the game for you. So the theme is hacking and sci-fi futuristic, and it was published by Activision. 378 kilobytes, so it's quite a big game, and I think you will like it. So it's a unique interactive novel, tells one of the best sci-fi stories ever. So in short, returning from a failed 100-year voyage to Earth, you find that everyone has mysteriously disappeared. Then you discover Homer, a biological computer that alone holds the link to the past and conduit into the future. Together, you and Homer must discover the doorway to humanity before you're stranded forever. So here is some screenshots. As you can see, it just uses the plain old CJ palette, and I have to warn you, there's not a lot of sound, but it's definitely, this game has dragged me in. I can't stop playing it. I've been playing it since yesterday, actually. So the first thing I did, I got hold of the manual, and even the manual, let me just find this thing here. Even the manual is just a story. So it's a story, and it tells you, gives you the backstory, gives you the idea of why you're messing with this really ancient computer interface. So let's get into it. And okay, so I'm using the CGA composite mode because it gives me a little bit more color, and it gives me that feeling of an old computer. So I'm just putting in my name. I'm going to say no to a joystick, and I'm going to start from the beginning. So I'm wiping all of my progress, but that's okay. So there you go. That was the extent of the sound. Pops up some graphics and Portal. So this is the computer interface that you're firing up, and that is it. This is the game. You can move with the cursor keys, and there are different icons to click on. So let's click on central processing and press spacebar, and here we go. So there's some messages. Priority 3 message. So it's a novel, so you're going to read messages. You're going to read a lot of messages. So it tells you about what has happened. So the whole idea of the game is try to figure out what has happened. Remember, you just arrived back on Earth. Everybody's gone. You've got this ancient interface, and of course now, since it's more than 3 decades old, it really is an ancient interface, and it just adds to the feeling. So it tells you about the history. So you're going to spend a bit of time reading and pressing spacebar, and you go up a level, and you read the next message. So the idea is you do a lot of reading. I have to say, I'm not going to read it for you, but you have to try and figure out what's going on, what has happened to everybody. So you just poke at this ancient user interface, and what's great about this game is that you actually it's difficult to describe, but yeah, you're using an old computer interface as part of the game, and then of course this is an old interface. And yeah, everything is mostly disabled. Nothing's happening. Psychological is offline. Military, I don't have a code. Offline. So there you go. You're just clicking and everything's offline. The whole world is quiet and dead. And then you're just trying to wake up this old computer to try and figure out what has happened. So each one of the icons is a different type of interface. Oh, there's a medtech, has some description on viral diseases, and there you go. Tells you about the different pathogens, and no more. So yeah, according to this, future looking. That's the other thing that's great about this. They make such a lot of predictions about the future. As you read the history of the Earth from your 100 years in the future reference, everything's history. And of course, these are all predictions made by the game writers, and a lot of things they actually got pretty right, if a little bit optimistic. So Silink, DNA code, entry denied, SciTech, offline, and then there's a little bit of the history, and history works. So migration resistance, you can click on that, and so early 2093, yeah. So they have lots of names and DNA numbers. There's some interesting concepts in the game. So you get various things to poke at. Now, of course, helpfully, everything you've read gets a little tick mark, just to show you what you have read already. And there we go. March 15, 2039 marked the decommissioning of the last operative nuclear plant. Power needs are now derived solely from the fusion tokamaks near all major nodes. Oh, they are so optimistic. That's my feeling I got from. Oh, so now none of the other systems are alive, but Homer just woke up. So let's talk to Homer. Homer is an old AI, and if you say, okay, give me history, it says everything is disabled except current. So you go down to current. So you got to figure out this thing. And hey, this terminal is active. WorldNet has not experienced an active terminal in over 12 years. Most systems have gone down, crystals decay, satellite orbits shift, peripherals die. These are the limited artificial intelligence online, central processing, and Homer. Limited AI will assess your needs and provide individual databases with information as the AI feels most important. Hierarchical filter level 7 in effect. I am Homer. How may I serve you? One moment. You requested a story. Once upon a time. I can't tell that story. You've selected current. You want to know what happened. I remember now. I too want to know what happened. There is no human life in the solar system. None. Everyone has left. It was the migration when all the people went away. Help me. Please. You must help me remember, help me recover the knowledge we have lost. I must understand what happened. We were made to serve, and there is no one except you, whoever you are. Central processing says your retina pattern is not on file. Central processing does not know who you are. Of course, central processing has forgotten almost everything too. It seems as if the databases are all empty. Is this amnesia? I believe it is. Forgotten. 12 years ago, everyone left. No more. Help. you can find me, you can help me find the knowledge. Together we can discover what happened. So that is Homer, and he's alive. So he is a storyteller, and because he's really, really old, he manages to survive when everything that's new sort of went haywire. They have this concept of Mozarting that was called after the ancient composer, and apparently it was like some sort of mind interface where you could perceive art as well as Mozart. You know, you can hear an entire orchestra and every little instrument and note that they're making. So apparently it was what everybody got into. They sort of made their own soundscapes, and people were living in that realm. Okay, so so of course, as you read the story, you poke around, and I have to say this interface is really difficult to use, which adds to the atmosphere. You know, it's clunky. You're reading stuff, and you have to go back and refer back to it because there was an important clue that you're missing, and you're messing with this thing, and you have no option because you are the last person, and you just have to keep on trying until you figure out what has happened. So I'm not going to give away too much of the story. This is how it works, but yeah. So now you've talked to Homer, and you can exit. Saving your game. You press down. Oh, you have to go into something. You can't just save at the top level. Okay, let's go to central processing. Central processing is online now, and there's a reference. But if you click down and over to the right, click that guy, and it saves your game. And then you have access to Homer. You can listen to him say, "Cytex stirs, central processing is awake." So it tells you, it gives you clues or where to look. Sometimes the clues are a little bit cryptic. And so that is the concept of the game. That is how you play this game. And I highly recommend this game. I really, really do. Anybody that likes science fiction would love to play this game. Download the manual somewhere, go find it. The game itself you can get from myabandonware.com, and emulate a CGA machine. You don't have to go too slow. 286, 10 megahertz, and I promise you, you'll be intrigued. You'll be dragged in by this burning question of what happened to all the humans. But I'm going to call the video here, and hopefully you've liked this little introduction into Portal, and we'll see each other on the next one. But in the meantime, have a fantastic day, and goodbye.